for joining us. Now, everything's happening so fast in real time with coronavirus, so it's hard to imagine what will happen next. But for Dr. Richard Hames, that's his job. It's to look ahead. He's a futurist. He's predicted two of the biggest world events of the 21st century, 9/11 and the GFC.
Now he's discussing what COVID-19 means for humanity's future. Dr. Richard joins us now. Good morning.
Hello, Belinda.
First up, this pandemic, it's something a lot of people didn't foresee for 2020. Did you?
Yeah. We saw it coming. It was certainly on our radar. If you're looking for patterns, the combination of globalization, population growth and disease vectors were always going to create conditions in which viruses like this could flourish.
Now, you mentioned previously that a global financial crash would take place by the end of next year. People are now worried. I mean, we're worried now that there might be another a Great Depression. What do you make of this? Is that a possibility? Is that something we should be concerned about?
The conditions, David, are very different. That doesn't mean we shouldn't worry. Australia's already experiencing a retail recession, as you know. Present reactions to the pandemic will make matters probably far worse. Unemployment is skyrocketing. Many businesses won't recover from this. So a global economic downturn is almost unavoidable. Using the word depression, I'm not sure about, but much depends now on how we weather this storm. And I'm not talking about the virus so much as our reaction to it, our responses to it.
Well, on that, countries around the world are going into lockdown and we're being told to stay inside unless absolutely necessary. But you say there is no need to change our entire way of life because of COVID-19. How come?
Yeah, we need to be careful here. I think we've been spooked. COVID-19 is not a new virus. We've known about it for quite some time. In fact, a SARS coronavirus detection technology was patented in the US in November 2003, so 17 years ago. In Australia, the annual flu epidemic will kill far more people than COVID-19 probably. So to some extent, this is a false crisis. Don't misunderstand me. It is a crisis for the elderly and for those with pre-existing medical conditions, no doubt about that, but not for most people, or at least it didn't need to be. The narrative in which we're now trapped, the way the government has chosen to tell that story, generating so much anxiety and fear, even if it wasn't their intention, and the draconian regime they're now having to impose without much evidence they know what they're doing, was always going to be disconcertingly reckless. We're using a sledgehammer to crack a nut here. It's too late now to do anything else, but if we'd targeted those most likely to contract the disease and protected them in the ways we're trying to do now with the whole society, we might have avoided potentially devastating socio-economic conditions in the years to come.
Richard, we're going to have to lose you in a second, but I want to talk to you about this because this is obviously something that you said it could have been predicted, but from the majority, it's unprecedented. But you're thinking that we should be more worried about future viruses than we should COVID-19. What can you tell us?
Well, this pandemic is not unprecedented. The Spanish flu, for example, in 1918, infected around 500 million people. That was a quarter of the global population, and killed anywhere between 17 and 50 million people. Some estimates go to 100 million. So I think what we need to see is that pandemics give us a chance to hit the reset button. That Spanish flu allowed us to see the wisdom of having a social welfare safety net in place for some sectors of the community. So we might be able to learn from this. The current pandemic could well allow us to reconfigure the relationship we have both with each other and with nature. But David, the thing to look out for, I think, is the next plague, and there will be another one. We've been promised that, and I see that coming at some stage. It's likely to come more from unfamiliar pathogens, perhaps locked away for centuries under Tibetan glaciers and released by the melting of the ice, which is happening through climate change. Now, that could happen at any time, and that will be unprecedented.
All right, Dr. Richard Hames, good to have your insight on this. We'll speak to you later on. For more information on Richard's work and predictions, you can head to richardhames.com. It's really interesting stuff.